There is one type of marketing lie that if used correctly, I can guarantee will help your brand grow. In this video, I'm going to review the steps I've successfully used for my clients that will make your marketing unforgettable. But you have to do it just right. As we all know, there's a huge difference between good lies and bad lies in marketing. Let's face it, marketers like us are considered one of the most deceitful professions, and we don't want to make our situation any worse than it already is. In a recent poll, the only profession that ranked more dishonest than marketers was Congress. Our profession's honesty and ethical standards got a whopping 8% score. It's really bad. We're tied with car salesmen. We're ranked half as honest as lawyers. So you might think I'm crazy to encourage you to lie more in your marketing. Just stick with me on this. I promise it will all make sense. Before we go over the do's of lying in your marketing, let's go over what not to do. The ineffective and harmful lies you should avoid at all costs. You've been lied to if you've ever ordered a burger from McDonald's and compared what you're served to the photos on the menu board. They don't look like that. But McDonald's sells billions of burgers every year. The customers don't seem to care about how they look. That's because McDonald's is still delivering on their core promise of a tasty, cheap burger. Although tasty is subjective, and recently they're way less cheap. Now, if your restaurant promises Instagram-worthy dishes, you better ensure those plates match the photos in your marketing, or you're going to have very unhappy customers. Most importantly, just make sure you know what your core promise is to your customers, and never lie so much that you can't deliver on that promise, even when you push the truth a little bit, because we all do that as marketers. Pairing your core values with a story makes it even more memorable. Stories stick with us because they have emotion. For instance, if I were to quiz you a day from now about this video, I bet you would remember what I said about the McDonald's burger photos, probably more than anything else I've said. It's because you can relate to that story. Stories are actually processed differently in our brains, engaging more connections and emotional responses, and this increases memory retention and our overall engagement with the message. So if you can somehow combine core values, stories, and a well-crafted lie, we create something very special that engages our audience and builds our brand. I call this the flip the script method, and last year's Snoop Dogg Solo Stove ad may have done it better than any other I've seen. I'm obsessed with this ad. I talk about it all the time. In fact, I have 2 videos that cover the ad in great detail, but if you haven't seen those, as a quick summary, here's how it played out. Snoop Dogg posted on social media that he was giving up smoke, his fans went crazy, think he was giving up smoking pot, and the big reveal was that he was promoting a smokeless stove from Solo Stove. The post got 31 million likes, comments, and shares on social media. It was a viral hit. But why did this ad deliver beyond all the exposure? Because they attacked a core value, they flipped the script, and then they delivered on that core value. While it's an ad for Solo Stove, they were actually piggybacking on an ad for Snoop Dogg. He flipped his core values of being part of the marijuana culture, his fans were upset, and then they were relieved. This story resonated with them, and they won't forget it. And when they remember his story, they'll remember Solo Stove. There are 4 core reasons why this type of ad works. Surprise, relief, sharing, and contrast. Surprise. When a joke or story contradicts someone's core values, it creates a sense of surprise. This increases attention and engagement because it violates our brain's predictive models, making the promotion even more memorable. Relief. When you reaffirm the status quo, your audience will feel a sense of relief. It's an emotional roller coaster, moving from confusion to resolution, and it will strengthen the memory of the marketing effort. It's like the punchline of a joke. You never forget the punchline. Sharing. Pranks or jokes often have a social component. They're more likely to be shared or discussed with others. This social reinforcement can further enhance memory retention because discussing an event can help us actually rehearse the memory. And then contrast. As we all know, in our traditional marketing, it often relies on repetitive messaging, which can get annoying and usually blends into the background noise of all the other marketing out there. In contrast, a well-crafted joke that plays on expectations will stand out. So now the real question is, can you do something like this on a much smaller scale and budget without a big-name celebrity like Snoop Dogg on your payroll? By now, you've probably made the connection between what I've been saying and April Fool's Day. I'm a huge fan of April Fool's pranks, and I've used them in marketing for some of my clients with amazing results. These are low-budget, high-impact campaigns you can do next April Fool's or sooner if you find the right hook and timeline. Here are the steps I took for a restaurant client of ours last April Fool's. First, ask what your core value or promise is to your customers. This campaign was for a restaurant client named River, a waterfront restaurant and bar. And if you boil down their core promise to their customers, it's fantastic waterfront dining. Next, flip the script. What better way to flip the script than to build a huge stone wall in front of their beautiful waterfront views? What did it cost? About an hour playing around in Photoshop using their generative AI tool to add a wall to a photo that we already had. and a little more time working on the social post text. Big announcement. Our most loyal fans often complain that it's hard to focus on their meal and conversations with the Connecticut River as a constant distraction. This is especially true on beautiful days. That's why we've been secretly planning this beautiful 20-foot stone wall. Construction starts today, so by summer you'll finally be able to enjoy some distraction-free dining at River. We can't wait for you to see it. Which is ridiculous, but it worked. Then the sanity check. We start planning these pranks at least a month out and review dozens of ideas before we pick one that we think will work. If it's not funny or the reveal might not land well with your audience, abort the mission. The last thing you want to do is point out something you're not doing well. An example of this would be as if you were marketing for a dental practice and your April Fool's joke was that you've invented a new procedure that makes dental work actually feel good, only to reveal that it's just as painful. Next, post and enjoy the chaos. When you post something like this, get ready for nasty comments, crazy comments, and lots of fun comments from those that are in on the joke. We got hundreds of them from people who didn't get the joke at first. Like this one, why a wall? Don't people come to see the water? How stupid. And this one, the Connecticut River is the best part of being here, and I don't agree at all. This is the reason for the name of the restaurant after all. Is the new name going to be The River Behind the Wall or just The Wall? Overall, between Facebook and Instagram, we got 878 likes and 195 comments plus dozens of emails, which is an excellent segue for me to remind you to hit that like button and subscribe. Sorry, had to do it. Okay. And when you compare these likes and comments to the typical results for River's non-promoted content, this is like 10 to 20 times higher than their average results. Finally, the reveal. I like to let a campaign like this simmer for 8 to 12 hours, but depending on the prank, it might be longer or shorter. Just make sure you get the reaction you're looking for first. Then reach out directly to anyone you tricked with a message reinforcing your core values. Let me say that again because this is the most essential part of this whole video. It's about reinforcing your core values. When you make your reveal, you don't just say April Fools. You say, don't worry, we're not changing a thing. Our stunning views of the Connecticut River are one of the many things that makes us special. That's why we win Best Waterfront Dining in Connecticut year after year. And as I mentioned earlier, this message will resonate with your audience better than 100 regular ads saying River has the best waterfront dining. But when you piggyback your reveal with that message, it will be lodged in their brains for years to come. River has the best waterfront views. Snoop Dogg still smokes but enjoys a smokeless fire pit from Solo Stove. You essentially create an insider club for your most hardcore fans who are now in on the joke. If you have an idea for a flip the script campaign, I want to hear about it. I'm obsessed with this type of campaign. I'll even help you brainstorm ideas. Drop it in the comments below or message me on LinkedIn. My bio is linked in the description below as well. And if you want to find out more about that Snoop Dogg ad I keep talking about, I recommend you check out these two videos.